justice for all.
Remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you very much. Please sign on cell phones, pagers, and such. Item number 1. Citizen concerns. Anybody would like to talk about anything that is not already on the agenda? Item 2, approval of the agenda. I will move today's agenda.
Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Monson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0. Items 3 through 7 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. 3, approval of the minutes of the October 19 meeting. 4, approval of claims. 5, county auditor received the appointment of Eric Beebe to the Hornick City Council to fill the vacancy left by Derek Fiddler, resigning. 6, human resources. A, approval of memorandum of personnel transactions. B, authorization to initiate hiring process. And C, approval of request to deauthorize county positions. 7, secondary roads, approve the underground utility permit for telecom construction for Lumen.
Move it.
Motion by Monson, second by Radig. All those in favor? Sure.
I notice Supervisor Munson's end of appointment is on the personnel transactions, and I just want to say it's been good serving with you again.
Yep, it's been fun.
You were uniquely qualified for a unique circumstance, and I think it was all for the better. So
I can't wait to get the Para 911 report, though.
Have you, with that in mind, have you all filled out the report card for Mr. Monson for the evaluation? Again, thank you, Mark, for that. That was worthy of you to step up like that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. Item 8, building services. Approve Impact 7G professional services agreement.
Kenny Schmitz, Building Services Director. The agenda item before you is for an assessment of the old Prairie Hills County Home building to identify any materials that may have regulatory requirements from state, federal, or local items that might be identified in that building. I reached out to Impact 7G. They are a company from Clive, Iowa. They were referred to me by CMBA architects here in town who recommended we use their services. This contract is for $7,400 and would be under a 2022 CIP for the Prairie Hills demo.
Anything that concerns Mr. Butler on this?
Nope. It's all a process to get the thing ready.
I've been asking about that for quite a while, so I will move approval.
Second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Monson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay.
Passes 4-1. Mr. Radig opposed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9, Weed Commissioner. Receive and approve the 2021 annual report of the County Weed Commissioner. Okay.
And there's a place on the back that we'll sign to when we're done.
All right.
They didn't give you like a free steak to wear the sweatshirt, did they?
What's that?
They didn't give you a free steak to wear?
I sit on a horse and sort all their cattle.
All
The
right.
ones that get shipped to Fairway. That's my second job.
All right.
But I do eat it, I promise.
Okay.
I had one of them recently. It's good.
Amazing. Yeah, there's big things coming there yet. There'll be a major announcement coming. That's a cool deal. But you guys got any questions on a weed report this year?
I do not. Anybody else?
How'd you like the truck?
It's pretty cool. The GPS is amazing. We had a little trouble with the truck. We lost a cylinder in it. We had to put a new motor in it, or we rebuilt a motor.
Yeah.
It seems cylinder number 8 on them 7.3 motors, they put a different injector in there to quiet the motor down, and it throws the balance off in that motor. We didn't find this out until after it happened. And then I started talking to a fella that specializes in the motors, so we went a different route. But we're back together and everything's good, so. Our chemical prices are gonna jump. Like everything else, our chemical prices are gonna get crazy.
20%, 30% more?
It's looking like more. I mean, I'm guessing maybe 50%.
Okay.
I think one of the ways we're gonna try to deter some of that cost is maybe more mowing. I mean, we have the tractors, we have the mowers. Maybe we're gonna have to implement more mowing instead of, and a little less chemical and see what happens there. But I'll just talk with Mark about that, see the county foreman, and see where we can get there.
I'm hearing you may not be able to get some of those chemicals.
We've changed a few things, that's for sure, because some of them are stuck in places that we can't get them, I mean, we can't touch them. Well, and there is some available, but the price cost that it has jumped already it's not even feasible to even try it. So just go a different route, try to see what happens. We got good chemical reps that keep us in touch with all that stuff, so just keep working on it.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Jepson?
I'll move to receive.
Motion by Radig to receive, second by DeWitt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. This is all you need, was this signed, was it?
And there was one on the back, I believe, too.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, fellas, for the job this year.
You bet. Item 10, secondary roads. A, approve the selection of DGR Engineering for pipeline inspection work and request a contract for the work from DGR.
Well, just like you said, this pertains to the pipeline that Summit Carbon's plan to install in the county. There've been several engineering consultants that have contacted the board, and in the past, the board has expressed interest in hiring a local firm. DGR of Sioux City has submitted a statement of interest for work. The work will be paid for initially by Woodbury County and then reimbursed by the pipeline company. And Mr. Nair would recommend that the board consider hiring them for the pipeline inspection work.
I'll move that.
Motion by Radig, second by DeWitt. Further questions?
Does the county get money for this thing going through? Is there like a fee they have to pay us?
To my knowledge, it's just reimbursement for the inspection work.
Unless we had some like land they were leasing in the process, but I don't think there's any. It's
Well,
all
there-
private land, isn't it, that they're going through?
There was one that came through, it didn't happen, but it ended up going through Nebraska. I don't think they finished it, but the county would have made some money on that. I don't know.
We had a motion and a second, didn't we, Pat? Yeah. Okay. Are you ready? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Passes 5-0. B, approval of resolution establishing a level B road system for Woodbury County.
This pertains to the gravel improvement project. Part of that is relegating some lower use roads down to level B service. There was a hearing regarding this, and the county board, at the conclusion of the hearing, motioned to establish a level B road system. This is purely a resolution stating all the road segments in question and relegating them down to level B service.
I'll move it.
Second.
Motion by Radig, second by Monson. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0. Item C, approve the certificate of completion for project LB Parent 278 with Dixon Construction of Correctionville for $175,979.
Dixon Construction replaced an existing bridge that was in pretty poor state with a box culvert. The work was all done within compliance of our county standards and inspection being done by the county secondary roads. It's recommended that the board approve to accept and certify the completion of the project.
I'll move that.
Motion by Radig, second by DeWitt. Further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0. D is approve the certificate of completion for project parent C274 with Prom Construction of Slayton, Minnesota for $513,120.
And 22 cents.
I don't have that on mine. We can't, are we going to stop this over 22 cents?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, whoever made the
Monson's
mistake
last
is
great
going to have to pay
act.
the,
Move it.
Motion by Monson, second by DeWitt. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0. Item E, approve the contract for gravel purchase with Bedrock Gravel for $168,750.
This was gravel that was mined out of the Brazy property next to the land we owned. They worked in on private property and mined from the Brazy's property and offered a very reasonable price in doing so.
I will move that.
second.
Motion by DeWitt, second by Radig. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0. Sorry. Item 11, County Sheriff, approval of new building for training at Prairie Hills using MERD grant funds.
Tony Wingert with Sheriff's Office. We were here earlier and you guys gave approval to apply for the grant for a new training building and we got it. And before I go into detail, I want to publicly thank Sergeant Jorma Schwedler. He was the one that took this and ran with it and did all the legwork. And as a result, we're going to have another very nice building out at Prairie Hill. So he deserves, he won't come up and talk, he's too scared, but he deserves a lot of thanks for that, so.
Is the money, I guess I just have a question, is the money that you're getting from the grant going to cover the cost of the building, or are you looking for any excess at the moment?
No, well, somebody told me earlier today about gaming, but no, we're going to use our money out of room and board to pay the extra. The building, the quotes we got, the one that is going to work for us, comes up to $134,759. The grant is for $101,070. We're going to take money out of room and board to cover so it's not going to cost. What I'm asking for you guys today is this has to be paid for up front, and then the grant reimburses. So I'm asking for you guys to come up with a funding stream until we can give you the grant money back.
Only because I'm curious, is there a problem with using the room and board money? I mean,
Criteria,
okay.
and they got a pretty good chunk in there. A little over 300,000, 340,000.
We got plans.
What was the purpose of this new training building?
It's a shell building. It's just a big Morton building. It's going to be empty inside, and part of the grant is we're building walls that will move. So we can make it look like a courtroom. We can make it look like the boardroom. We can make it look like a jail cell. And then our SWAT guys, our jail guys, our K-9 guys can go work in different rooms and get used to training. And also, we're building a section that our snipers will be able to, the area snipers will be able to shoot from the inside. And we got a dream, and we got to see if we can make it happen. But it's about 200 yards to our range there. And if we go on an angle here across the old sewage lagoon, out there, that if we can put up another one, that'll be over 350 yards. So get them some distance shots, and they'll be able to shoot inside out of the weather and replicate all sorts of different manner. So we're very excited about it. We already have a bunch of agencies already asking, when's it gonna be done? So we'll have a lot of people wanting to use it also.
Would there be any need to utilize the upper floor as a climbing hill anymore, if you even still do for training?
We don't, well, the upper floor climbing hill, the dogs may use every once in a while when they're always looking for a newer area that they haven't been in a while to get the dogs in, the scents and the floors and everything, but that's not anything we use on a regular rotation.
We'll move approval.
Motion by Young, second by Radig. Any further questions?
So is the construction of the building going to be bid out?
We've gotten 2 bids, and then he contacted L&L and Klinger, and both said they didn't want anything to do with the job, but I have 2 bids here. One's from Koskovich and Murphy, and one's from Morton Buildings Incorporated. So at Morton Buildings, they didn't follow what we asked for. They didn't give us any pricing on the concrete or anything like that, where Koskovich and Murphy priced out everything to how we needed it. So that's who we want to go with.
is that within all the specs?
And we might need to look at it a little bit closer because we're really close to the threshold for the formal bidding process with the plans and specs and all that.
That's why we had to do this for the MRD to get even. We had to get it detailed enough. So if we got to put it back out, I'm confident with Koskovich and Murphy will do what they have to do.
Okay.
Is that satisfactory?
Well, I think the board can approve, and then if we need to come back with the formal bidding process, we can do that.
Yeah, the grant money is the grant money. That's not changing 100 to 170. That's what they're giving us.
How is the threshold? Is it a percent or is it a dollar amount set by the state? I can't remember exactly how it works.
The dollar amount, the way the code works, it can be adjusted yearly, and the figures are posted on the Iowa DOT website. It hasn't changed in 3 or 4 years. I think it's 139 for the formal procedures for a county. If you're above I think it's like 106, then you have to do the formal quotation process. So we at least have to do the quotations, but if we're within that close to the formal bidding requirements, then
Well, maybe that's why this quote came up at 134,759. Maybe they knew that.
I didn't talk to them. I have no idea.
but Tony, you and I can discuss
Yeah,
further, and
if we actually have a meeting with one of the companies tomorrow. Yeah, maybe we can talk tomorrow, see what's going on with that. Yeah.
all right. I'm satisfied.
Do we have a motion and a second on this one, Pat?
You do.
Satisfactory, Mr. Woodman? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0.
One quick question. We get everything hammered out and they need the money. Do we just go to Dennis then and say, hey, come up with the cash, and how are they going to bill us, and how are we going to pay for that?
Well, they won't need it till it's built anyway, will they?
They're going to want some money.
They're going to want a deposit on those kind of things, for materials at least.
Dennis is
We
going
can
to,
pay it out general basic, because it's gonna be reimbursed anyway.
Okay.
101,000, and it'll take care of the other.
yeah, and if we have to, we can use our room and board to pay the down payment if it falls within that requirement too. So that, I just want to make sure we have the actual physical ways to do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item 12, reports on committee meetings.
I can, Mark and I were in a Simcoe meeting, or we were discussing our CERTS building, which is going to be the new home of Simcoe at some point as well, right next to the new home of the DOT. And just like a few other buildings, this particular building is going to cost more than expected. So even though it was initially 100% grant funded, certain expenses might come up that cost more after it's bid. We don't know yet because it hasn't been bid. That's coming up. As a nonprofit, they may be interested in asking for a loan from the county, like we've done for other nonprofits. And they would pay it back, but we would just basically be the conduit and a way to get a very low interest rate for them, so.
This will fall under 10 million a year we can do. For you're just basically a pass-through, they're still to get tax exempt. But they need to act soon if they can, to get in this year, I guess.
I think it bids first week in November. Do you remember, Mark?
Something like that.
Do you know the projected shortfall, or you're just guessing, or?
Well, we actually hope we can be right at the, I can't remember, was it 7 million, I thought? The reason there's probably going to be a little more overage than expected, because we did change the building and make changes to what we were going to do in that building to address some of the cost increases. But there's another increase that they didn't plan on, and that was the DOT was going to front all the utility work, and then Simcoe was going to pay essentially to the DOT through like a monthly user fee. Well, the DOT's building is obviously more expensive than they had planned for. So now they don't want to front any of that utility work, and they want Simcoe to pay for their part of it up front.
Yep.
So that might be the part that we would loan them. And since Simcoe was planning to pay it on a per month fee originally anyway, doing a loan and paying it back per month would be about the same thing as they were looking at up front.
Well, we've financed a lot of groups through that 10 million, right? And it doesn't affect what we do whatsoever.
No, it doesn't affect our bond capacity or anything, we're just a flow through. The only thing I want to make sure, just sitting there thinking about it, we got to make sure that we didn't use that 10 million up on our tax exempt. I don't think we did on our bond issue, but that's the authority, that's not us. So it shouldn't affect us.
But in that $7 million building, plus whatever it was, like 2 million in utility work. So initially they were looking at the 7 million and having the 2 million fronted by the DOT. The new projections for the building were 9 million, and then the 2 million that they were gonna have to pay up front. So instead of 7, it went up to 11, but we engineered out about 2 million worth of work. And then that's where we're maybe looking at the county for that potential to partner with and get that loan. So just thought you guys would like to know that that could be on the horizon, and we'll see how bids come in and
Okay.
everything.
Anything else? Mr. Monson?
I have nothing.
Sirs? Round 2 of citizen concerns. Board concerns.
Well, it's nice working with you, Mark. I'll see you on Simcoe and
Yep,
everything else we do together.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Sorry I didn't vote for you.
You have to live with that.
We are adjourned.
They said that was never anything personal.